came time for my yearly physical, and that included a mammogram, and I went for the mammogram appointment. I went there feeling good. I felt like I looked good, and I knew I felt better. I got there for that mammogram, and I was kind of glad to go get it over with and everything good. That weight loss was down, and I knew the doctor would be happy with that. That day at the mammogram appointment, the radiologist found some abnormalities on my x-rays. Within the next few weeks, I went in for biopsies, and they diagnosed through those biopsies, it was determined that I had the abnormalities were cancer cells. I then had to go for surgery and had to see an oncologist, and at that time, the oncologist felt the best treatment for my abnormal cells, cancer cells, was to go ahead with the surgery, of course, and to begin prescribed medication after the surgery. So I went on that medication, and of course, they don't tell you the side effects of the medication. They don't go into any detail whenever you begin the medications. Well, very soon after I started that medication, I started to gain weight. I was gaining weight, and after about a year of that, and I went in for a doctor's appointment, I discussed with my doctor the issues that I was having with my weight and how discouraged I was with it. Well, my doctor, he just kind of laughed, and he said, well, you know, I've had a very few patients on this medication that lost weight, but he said it's almost impossible on these type medications to lose, but he said that most of his patients he had gained weight on the medication. Well, that was a very discouraging thing with me. Even though I was blessed that my cancer cells were contained and found in a very early inactive stage, I felt so discouraged. I felt that I was sentenced to 5 years of weight gain, and it was very disheartening. At that time, I believe that was the first obstacle I had in my trying to live a healthier life. I contacted a prayer partner I had, and I discussed my news with her, and she and I discussed that maybe I needed just to continue trying and be encouraged by everything going as well as it was, and maybe the weight wouldn't get out of control. So we prayed that hopefully it wouldn't get out of control before I completed the medication. I then lost the will to even try. It just didn't matter anymore. I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and as much as I wanted, and I stopped my daily exercise. Forget those walks. There was no need. I became inactive, and I only did what I had to do whenever I had to do it. I put up a really good front when I would go to the doctor's office and step on those scales, and boy, did I dread it. I was so embarrassed and ashamed, but my weight, it just continued to increase to the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Those 4 years of discouragement had great impact on my life. It affected every area of it. It especially affected the physical part, the spiritual part, the mental and the emotional part of my life. In January of this year, God led me to a First Place for Health workshop in my area there in 6 Mile, South Carolina. Our networking leader, Diane Byers, had coordinated this workshop. A couple of ladies in my church had been in First Place for several years, and they were inviting new people to come. Well, I kind of thought I might go, and then I said, well, maybe I won't. Well, I decided that it might be a good program to try. So I said, you know, knowing my situation and knowing that the money that I had wasted all those years on the different programs that I had done and different diet foods I had tried to buy, you know, I just really didn't want to put too much time and effort in something else that I knew would be a failure. Not to mention I was going to probably waste a good Saturday. I finally decided that it would be worth my time to go. So I went to the workshop, and you know, I was really encouraged in that workshop. When I left there that day, and some of you were there, I felt excited. I said, this might be something that would work for me. And I felt encouraged by the group. I thought it would be something that I should at least try. Felt like I'd been to a pep rally when I left. So as I got home, I decided that I would sign up for a 12-week program that they were going to begin in First Place for Health there. And that First Place for Health program was a new beginning. How fitting could that be for me? So I tried the program.